Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here coming at you from the Knife Center, and it's face-off time again. For this round, we're pitting Brad Zinker against Richard Rogers. It's the Boker Plus Urban Trapper versus the CRKT CEO, and you get to pick the winner. Let's do this. Now these are two knives that are definitely far apart in price, but both are knives that you'd want to carry when you're looking to dress for success. And we think it's great to have such phenomenal options available at different budgets. The thing that really brings these two knives together in our minds are the narrow frames that don't take up any more room in your pocket than a nice ink pen. And this aesthetic of gentlemen's knives, the long slender handle paired with a narrow blade, sort of a cross between modern flippers and traditional pocket knife patterns, are perfect examples of executive knives. These knives certainly have that in common, and we think the blades on these are shapes that would make great letter openers. The CEO features a straight back and one of the narrowest we've seen on this style of knife. Has a flat grind and a very acute tip. The steel is HCR13 MOV, which is a solid entry-level stainless steel that's very similar to AUS 8, and it's easy to keep sharp and holds a respectable edge. Moving over to the Urban Trapper series, now in general, every aspect of this knife is definitely going to be a step up and a bit nicer than the CRKT. But there's a reason for that, because remember, this is over double the price. But what you get in exchange for that is more premium features and build quality. Case in point with the blade is a nice horizontal satin finish and a crowned spine for comfort, and you just don't see that on more budget-oriented knives. The Urban Trapper features a long clip point blade, and the shape echoes those that were used on classic slip joint trapper patterns, and that's where it takes its name from. The steel is VG10 stainless, which is a definite upgrade with longer edge retention and a fine grain structure. It's hollow ground, so it's nice and thin behind the edge for minimal resistance and fantastic cutting. Moving back to the handles, the CEO features glass reinforced nylon with a radial pattern that adds some texture so that it's not so slick. Folded up, the blade disappears completely, as does the whole handle when you clip it to your pocket or even your neckline. The deep carry clip is truly low profile, and it's mounted on the right side in a tip-down configuration. The Urban Trapper features contoured G10 overlays, but you can also get wood or carbon fiber, and you can even get a bare skeletonized titanium frame for even slimmer dimensions. Folded up, it's not quite as skinny as the CEO, but it's still very small in the pocket. The clip is also mounted to the right side like on the CEO, but it is mounted tip up in this case. And while the clip is folded over for deep carry, you do get an ever so slight amount sticking up. Although from a practical perspective, I'd say it's not enough to actually make a ton of a difference. It's still going to virtually disappear when you clip it to your pocket. To open the blades, the Urban Trapper features an IKBS pivot and a flipper tab. And the blade clicks open with a precise, refined sound and minimal effort. Very high class in its feel. The CEO also features that same IKBS system in the pivot. It doesn't have a flipper, but it's still equally easy to open. The single thumb stud nests into the handle completely, and it's tuned perfectly to flick open the blade with a simple push of the thumb. Both of these blades can be deployed and ready in an instant without being overly dramatic. I mentioned titanium earlier when talking about the Urban Trapper, and that's the material that forms the frame lock that keeps the blade open. The CEO features a liner lock instead, but the thickness of the lock bar is virtually identical to the frame lock on the Urban Trapper. Lockup on both of these knives is very secure, and I don't see any blade play on either of these examples. So I think both of these are great knives, and I love that we see them both at different price points. It allows folks on any budget to enjoy this cool style of executive knife that we think has been making a really big splash lately. But this is the point where you guys get to pick the winner. Do you go for the affordable and super slim CRKT CEO, or do you spend a bit more for the premium materials of the Boker Plus Urban Trapper? Be sure to let us know down in the comments which one gets your vote, and in the meantime, to get your hands on either one of these great knives, click the link in the description below to head over to KnifeCenter.com.